My pleasure to be here today and to speak to you about Aurora and our excellence in genetics and cultivation and how we do it to drive the European business. You already introduced myself. My name is Andreas Dotterweich. I joined Aurora 9 months ago, and I'm in charge of the European business. What do we talk about today? And I'm really happy that I can take you through this today. Is look at our excellence in genetics, cultivations, and how we translate that into the European acceleration. For Aurora as a global leader in medical cannabis, we believe we have a distinct advantage in this field, and I want to take you through this strategic pillar, how we bring it then to the European market and succeed in the European market. From a competitive set, I would say the markets are increasingly competitive, as we all know, especially in Germany. And we look at the center, the core, which is always the patient. So we always have the patients in the center, and we look at the whole patient journey. But today I want to take you really through the foundation of genetics and cultivation. That's the starting point. And what it does it then mean in terms of reliable supply chain, reliability, for the patient, but also a high consistent quality, what it delivers to the market in terms of in the field of navigating the regulators, the physicians, and the patients. But in the center of this is really the quality and the reliable supply chain. And that's key for patients. And you will see that throughout the presentation. We put a lot of focus on the EU GMP cultivation, as you might know already. So that means we have a couple of EU GMP facilities in Canada. We just acquired Safari to increase the capacity. And we also grow in Germany in Leuna. We also have an EU GMP facility. So that means like a full commitment to EU GMP production and facilitation. When we take a look at the patients, what we see is, and I think that's a quite nice thing, that we tend to think, okay, it's all around price, and we know there's certain price points where a lot of volume is turning. But what we see more and more, and also especially in Germany, is that quality is really key for the patient. So they look for quality, they look for consistent quality. And at the end of the day, it means you have to strike the point where you say, okay, price and quality are in the best relation. Let's call it value for money. But the quality is one of the key drivers for patients, and that's what they look after, especially in the long run. And this is the prerequisite for growth, actually. When it comes to our facility, I want to show you a picture here of the Aurora Coast facility. It's one of the leading facilities in genetics, genetic library in the world. So we have the biggest, let's say, library of genetics, but also IPs behind. And that puts us in a position where we know, okay, the cultivars we're going to grow, we're going to maximize the potential. We heavily invested in this 5 years ago, and the result is that we did double the outcome. So our outcome is doubling after 5 years, which is a very nice result. What you can see on the two axes is definitely a very high potency. So we increased the potency by 10 percentage points. And as we all know that the global development is going more and more in the direction of higher potencies, we see that in all markets. And the yields, we were able to increase the yields by 40%. So that means we maximize the cultivation in our facilities, which definitely contributes to the revenue growth, but it also means that we have a cost advantage, and we are very competitive in terms of production, and that also is driving the margins of our business. Coming to the next one, I don't want to go into all the technical details here about genetics and IPs. We have specialists in the company who can cover that very well. But what I want to mention here is that disease resistance is one big thing, is one key of our developments, and we see a big advantage of our own global R&D facility with the IP protection, and especially then what it results in. I want to talk more about this today, is the high potency, the amazing yields, and the consistent quality. So that's actually the result of it. Getting to the cultivation here in Leuna, I brought one of the recent pictures of the recent harvests in Leuna. We also upgraded the facility in Leuna, invested quite a lot over the past years. I think this is also catering to a full commitment to the German and to the European market. And what we did here is a knowledge transfer. So we transferred all the knowledge from the Canadian cultivation into Germany. And that means like we come up here in Germany with the same standards in terms of potency and yields. And that at a very competitive cost, even the labor and the energy being higher in Germany, but still we have a very competitive cost advantage here. And I think also it's the same here, that the consistent quality and the high potency at reliable high yields means it's a predictable outcome. And that's what's important for us across our Canadian facilities, but also in Germany, that we have a predictable outcome and that we know what we're gonna have to deliver to the German patients. In the sense of what does it result in? What does it all do? Because we can talk a lot about genetics and cultivation and how we grow, but at the end of the day, what it means is like that it gives us a unique portfolio. It gives us great innovations. And we see that Cosmic Cream and Electric Honeydew are among the top 3 cultivars in the German market in terms of revenue. So that means we're among always, let's say, ranking among the top 3. And that's actually then what comes back from the patients among the high ranked patients reviews. Actually, that's what results in, and this gives us then, the highest revenues in the market per cultivar, which makes us also very proud, because it means like what we do in the genetics and the cultivation really pays off with the patient, and the patient really admires it in terms of rankings of our cultivars. And you see Cosmic Cream is a 31. Electric Honeydew is at 26%, so they're also in the higher THC levels. To summarize this here, so starting with the genetics, cultivation, patient journey, what results in, our genetics and cultivation shape a real playbook in the sense of revenue growth, but for us also very important margin growth. Yeah? So is the revenue and the margin we take a look at. We use our genetics to really scale up the business. I mean, it's all for scale. The same with the cultivation. So we maximize the potential of the cultivation with those genetics in our existing facilities. It gives us a super high consistent quality, which is needed, especially for the German patients. And at the end, it caters to the patient's demands. So all this is in the center of our strategy, beside the other pillars, how we go to market, how we actually get the product to the patient. But this is in the center of the strategy. And this is where the company invested the last 5 years. And ultimately, this is how we help open the world to cannabis in the sense of highest quality product, reliable supply chain, because at the end of the day, that is what patients need in the German market. That's our strong belief. And it's our belief that that's our competitive advantage we're going to further scale and drive growth with in the European business. So that's from my side. I thank you very much for listening and for being here. And I'm very happy to answer any questions when we have a break or at lunchtime. If you want to know more, please approach me and we can have a more in-depth conversation if you like. Thank you very much.